All right, welcome to week number 5. So I'm changing your mid-distance run on you yet again. So what you'll see is a 5-4-3-2-1 pattern in there, and what I want is a half marathon type effort. So again, it's in the long run, it is a good effort, but it's doing paces that you should be able to do consistently for at least your half marathon. And I want you to practice getting to that speed, holding it, and then coming off it, and then getting back into it as well. You also have some 800s as well for the run. And if you can't get to a track, just convert it to your time. And that's totally fine. I get that question all the time. You can do it on a treadmill or you can do it outside. And then finally, start making sure your race nutrition is totally dialed in. Practice it on your weekend long rides where you're doing your 20-minute efforts. And I like to pace myself the hardest that I can go, given the fact I have all those efforts in that weekend ride. So if I'm going 3 by 20 minutes, I know that it calls for half Ironman effort. So if you're not 100% sure what that is, a good safe bet would be between 80 and 85%. And if you aren't sure if that's right for you, start at about 80%, and then you can make a decision if you want to try the next one up or down. And then you can look to see if your heart rate is climbing too high relative to those efforts. And if you have trouble understanding if that's happening or not, you can always ask us in our membership area or our Facebook group, and we'll have one of our coaches or myself will help you dial that in and answer. I like to challenge myself and kind of look at it and be like, okay, I have 3 by 20 minutes. What's the hardest that I can go and finish the third at the same one that I finished the first? And here's the other thing that I'll do. I observe my power on those, but I don't become a slave to it, because when you're racing, I feel like the power is a good guideline, but like we talked about a few weeks ago, it all comes down to RPE. So I like to first look at what's my breathing like? What do my legs feel like? And then I'm observing my power to make sure I'm not doing anything out of bounds, right? So if it obviously is bouncing in and out of above threshold, then I have a problem there. But if I'm fine and I'm looking at my average, when I go back and I say, okay, maybe I overcooked the first one or I had too much energy, then I come back the next week and I make that little adjustment. So, but make sure you're fueling and making sure that you're getting in on the bike around 300 calories an hour, and a safe bet to start with sodium is about 500 milligrams of sodium. And that's a place to start. For the run, you want to get about half of that, because your body's not going to be able to absorb much more than that on the run as well too. And the question that I hear a lot is, I'm not a big person, or I am a big person. Should I be eating more or less? You're not a big person, or you are a big person, or whatever. And yeah, you might be expending or need more energy, but everybody's intestines, no matter what your size is, are all about the same. And you can only absorb calories through your intestine. And so based on your size, that formula doesn't really change that much. So everybody's unique. You'll have to tweak it, but it's a good starting point for everybody. I'll see everyone next week. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask.